Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another day of praying through the darkness. How many times have you looked at just two words and your mind just it explodes with so many thoughts, so many um, experiences, so many songs, so many. Do you see how befuddled I am this morning? Because our topic, which is very fitting for Valentine's Day, is titled Higher Love. And in fact, there's even a song called Higher Love. And as I read through the devotion, there were just so many thoughts that flooded me about the love of God. I mean, folks, stop and think about it. God created for us a beautiful world. All you have to do is step outside and look at the landscape right there in front of you. I don't care if you're deep in the piney woods of East Texas or out where I live, where those beautiful, the beautiful and lushness of East Texas becomes dramatically changed as you move westward across Texas to more of a desert type scene. Because there's even beauty in that, in the dryness of the land, in the beautiful minerals that we get to see along cliffs in which we see layers upon layers of time that are marked because of the different um, my science is not that good, guys, but the rocks, the layering, it's just beautiful out there. We even have totally different vegetation. But I say all of that because even the animals that we have are totally different. I mean, we have more reptilian type animals out in West Texas than you do in East Texas or even North or South. We have an abundance of birds that are not seen anywhere else across the state of Texas. We have cacti that blooms in the spring. And I'm telling you, folks, on one cactus, the pear apple cactus, that's what we call it, you can have different color blossoms. One cactus might have pink and deep red and yellow all on the same plant. I mean, how wonderful is that? I tell you all of this simply because if God takes the time to be so meticulous in what it is He has to offer us across the globe, what makes us stop and think that God does not care for His ultimate creation, man? Who do you think He loves above all that He has created? That's us. And so when we fall into despair, when we fall into bouts of not feeling good enough, ho 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 ho, don't you know that makes God stop a moment, look at us, and shake His head and say, you do not have the right to think that you are not worthy. You do not have the right to think that you are not good enough. Otherwise, I would not have sent my son to save you. God sent to save all of us. But you know what? Stop and think for just a moment, which I do every once in a while, have to be reminded, hello, Maureen. God sent His son because He loved me. I wasn't born in the time of Jesus, but God already knew He was going to create me at some point. And so that higher love that I can only imagine at this point in time in my life, God showed me by sending His son Jesus Christ to die for my sins. So I hope you'll stay with me here for just a little bit and see just how precious and wonderful, worthy, and loved that you are. Now, as I said, our topic for today is titled Higher Love, and the verse that we'll be looking at to go along with this comes from Psalms 58:5. But I also want to remind you that my devotionals for 2025 come from this little blue book that's put out by Broad Street Publishers. Now, I've left a link for you down in the description box, so you can just click on it and it'll take you right to my devotionals for 365 days of praying for depression and anxiety. And I also like to remind you that these words are not just for those of us that experience that from time to time, or whether we live with it or not, but for anyone who wants to take just a few moments to be reminded that we are chosen by God. Your loving kindness, O Lord, extends to the heavens, and your faithfulness reaches to the stars. There is no limit to your love, God. It is so much sweeter, so much better than any love I could experience this side of heaven. Your intentions are pure. Your heart towards me is full of a fiery love that does not belittle or make me feel less than anyone or anything else. Your love lifts the lonely. It is extravagantly poured out at every opportunity. You cannot be understood or apart from your deep affection because your very nature is love. You are not a dictator requiring me to fall in line because you said so. You love me to life at every turn with kindness and gentleness. Even your connection to me is laced with love. Your love is abundantly available to me in every moment, including right now. Loving God, give me a fresh revelation of the depth of your affection today. Where it has felt stale, breathe new insight into the depths of my heart, opening my eyes to the greatness of your love. You are better than I expect at every turn. So thank you for your great mercy that covers me all the days of my life. Your love lifts the lonely. It is extravagantly poured out at every opportunity. Your love for me is life at every turn with kindness and gentleness. Even your connection to me is laced with love. Aren't those wonderful words to ponder on? I mean, I especially like that last one. Your connection to me is laced with love. That love comes from the sacrifice of his son. That sacrifice that he willingly made so that we could all reconnect with our Creator, with our Heavenly Father. Folks, I cannot think of a greater love than that. I mean, to sacrifice your life. Now, we all know as parents that we would sacrifice our life in a heartbeat to save our children. And that is exactly the kind of love that God has for us because he did do it. Remember, Jesus is the Son of God, but Jesus is also God made into flesh. God took a part of himself and shared it with us because God wanted us to know he hadn't abandoned his most perfect creation. Yes, we fell from his grace and his love in the very beginning back in the Garden of Eden, but he already had a plan in place, just in case that was the choice that Adam and Eve made. And he offers that choice to us every single day, to those that are unsaved and even to those of us that are saved. He offers the choice for us to seek him out, whether we are in a good mood or a bad mood, whether we are on the mountaintops or down in the valley. It is our choice to bring it all to the Heavenly Father because he wants to enjoy every aspect of our lives. He wants to be there in the good and the bad. And he also wants us to know that we are never alone when we struggle, when we don't know where to turn, when we feel life just wanting to push us down into nothingness. Folks, there is no higher love than the love that God has waiting right there to pour into us every single day, every moment of the day. So I hope that you'll take that thought with you today. God's love conquers all. No matter how big or how small the problem is, God can conquer it. He's just waiting for us to call on Him. And I do hope that you are reminded to do that every single moment of your life. Thank you all so much for being here today. All I ask of you, please, is to be sure and hit that little like button and leave me a comment. I just so love reading how these devotionals are helping you each and every day. So always remember, folks, that when darkness wants to crowd into your life and make you feel alone, you're not. God is right there with you. Reach out to Him. Let Him pour His love into you once again. And remember, I love you too. See you tomorrow. Bye.